So how are you guys? How are you doing?
Oh shit, I forgot we're doing the show.
I was waiting for you to introduce us.
Well, I'll do that after we've said something dumb in the beginning that I can put in the beginning.
I bought a brand new bottle of moisturizer today.
Nice.
How smooth are you?
How moist are you?
Well, I haven't used it yet. I'm nearing the end of my old bottle of moisturizer, which was maximum hydration.
Oh, so on a scale of 1 to 10, it is
apparently so. But it's weird because this is also it is the same brand. I'm a Nivea man myself.
Oh, okay, guys. You have brand loyalty.
Yeah, brand loyalty. It's good on my skin. You know, I have sensitive skin.
Are you frequently dry? Is that why you need to moisturize?
I'm very dry, Austin.
Okay.
I'm extremely dry.
I don't know if I've ever experienced notable dryness. Maybe it's just because the humidity where I've always lived is really bad.
I don't imagine that dryness is a problem in Florida.
Austin
I
is
think
always
probably
wet.
Moistness is what you need is demoisturizer.
I wouldn't say I'm always wet. I'd say mildly damp.
What you need is a desiccant. Do we have personal dessiccants?
You know those brushes you use to put barbecue sauce on ribs?
Oh!
I always have a sheen, someone gave me a quick barbecue sauce rub down.
I just got this glistening, just dripping image in my head with a completely uncalled for slap bass background soundtrack.
Okay. Okay, so Austin is damp, Johnny is moist, and I'm just perfect. I'm the appropriate amount of wetness.
Well, no, Johnny vacillates wildly between desert dryness and maximum moisture.
It's true. It's true. My moistness is a swaying freestanding tower in a windstorm. It spins and rotates and leans and cracks and groans and reaches angles that modern man was not meant to bridge.
I may have lost the thread of that metaphor, but speaking of dampness, did you guys know there was a hurricane since the last we spoke?
There usually is. Which one, though?
I had read this, but not on the news or anything, just that I had read this in our text chat from the other day, where you were like, yeah, the hurricane. I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, classes are canceled on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday for me.
I presume you'll be invoicing the hurricane for hours lost.
I made it out relatively unscathed. We just lost power for basically those days. I think we got back a little bit earlier, but some other people were not so lucky. People across the street from us had their car crushed under a branch. I think 80% of the city next to us lost power for till now. I don't know if it's even back yet. They got pretty badly hit. It wasn't actually that bad, in terms of rainfall. The rain itself only lasted for a couple hours. It's just that the wind was briefly very strong, and therefore a bunch of stuff just broke. Tallahassee.
If it makes you feel any better, Austin, you don't have to be in a hurricane for a tree branch to destroy your car.
That's true.
This happened to a friend of mine when he was driving his car.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it doesn't just happen. A hurricane just makes it happen all at once.
Yeah. There's a lot of sound and fury.
The episode of Dice Funk that's going to be released this week, I don't know if you'll be able to notice, but Lauren is in a different place for her recording because she still does not have power. Tallahassee is actually not that frequently targeted by hurricanes. I don't know why that word was hard to say suddenly. So I think we're actually less prepared for it than other Floridians. Where I'm from in South Florida, there's just so many. It got passe. I remember, I think it was during Hurricane Wilma, which was a Category 4 maybe. I just went outside to play football or something. I was just so done with hurricanes.
Remind me, are hurricanes murder in that the lower the number the worse it is, or are they burns in that the higher they are the worse it is?
It's a reverse DEFCON situation, so the higher the worse.
Okay, so they're like burns then.
Yeah, I think 5 is as high as I've ever been in. I think it might be as high as it goes. But yeah, so that's my hurricane story. Nothing of note
Cool.
to me was damaged badly, but other people around me were, and I missed some classes. Hey guys, guess what?
What?
We don't just get to take those classes off. We're just going to have to schedule them a different time. Law school works differently. Every class is very important, and you can't miss anything. They've been very clear. Like, our attendance policy is don't miss anything.
That's what happens if you do.
Don't. No, that's the official policy. Show up. Like, it's not optional.
So, like, if there's a Zika virus problem, they're like, give it to everybody. Just do it.
I think Zika virus is only really a threat to pregnant women. Last time I checked, I don't know.
I don't know how many pregnant law students you're hanging around.
I think there's like 2 or 3 in my class. Not pregnant, maybe now. I just remember we were talking about fetus stuff.
Oh my god!
And someone, the professor asked, like, who here has created life? And like 3 hands went up. God, that just went in a direction. What were we talking about?
Just so we're clear, I have created life. It just didn't gestate inside me.
Is this like a homunculus? What? Are you admitting to a homunculus situation?
No. This is an old refrigerator situation that kind of got out of hand a few years ago.
Okay.
So it's a cowboy.
This could have gone in like a Dr. Frankenstein direction, but it was just a joke. So that's good.
It's Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could keep going, but Leon.
It's okay. Oh, I was thinking earlier about heaven, and
I like where this is going.
Sure.
And how apparently everything there is fine.
Yeah. David Lynch. Okay. Anyway. No. What I was thinking.
High five.
Yeah. There you go. Gatekeeping for everyone else. Take that. We're just big jerks about it too.
So
sorry.
Tell me about heaven, Leon.
Okay. No. So I think about religious stuff a lot and have to research the religious stuff a lot for someone who is basically secular because of my show. And I started thinking about qualifications for getting into heaven. Not only is every religion different about that. I mean, some don't even have it, but for those who have like a kind of like good afterlife as part of their religion, the qualifications are always different, not only within the religion but among the followers, because people can't like decide exactly what you need to do and not need to do. You would think it would be super clear. You would think that would be like the clearest thing, like in the Bible would be like, okay, this is exactly what you need to do and not do. Because you think you're like, oh, well, I just have to make sure I don't break any of the commandments. But then you're like, okay, but it's hard not to break any of them ever. So if I only break one, but I say I'm sorry because Jesus says forgiveness is important or something.
Do you want the real answer to these queries, or is this leading to a joke?
It's. I mean, I have jokes, but it is something I genuinely wonder about because I did a part of an episode I did. I referenced the fact that although these qualifications are complicated, a poll of Americans who are Christians say that, among Christians, the majority of them, at least in my country, say that you don't necessarily have to be a Christian to get into heaven, which I think is very
nice.
Which I think is encouraging and inclusive. But that also means
incredibly ill-informed.
Yeah, look, very few people know less about Christianity than American Christians. That's just not me slamming them. I'm talking about like polling data suggests that.
But I'm sure, yes, there are very specific things in the Bible that says, nah, you got to be with Team Jesus, yeah. And I get that, but I also feel that although the text, alleged, finger quotes here, never changes, attitudes do, and people take certain things certain passages more literally and certain passages more flexibly, and I think that's an acceptable path to your own faith and your own relationship with God. I think that's fine too. But here's the thing. like I did a thing, and like it was like I think somewhere around like 55% of American Christians think you don't necessarily have to be Christian in order to get into heaven, which like I said, I think is very encouraging and inclusive. But that also means about 45% think that you totally do, and that makes me think that for those Christians, getting into heaven is a lot like getting into one of those expensive preschools, because it is not about the quality of the person; it's more about who you know. And in this case, the person you know has to be Jesus.
So you don't really know Jesus, Leon. You just like, you met him once when a guy dunked your head underwater, like years and years and years ago. You were like, yeah, I caught a glimpse of him. He winked at me, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to talk to this guy before it's over. But then like he skipped out before the party was over. But we know some of the same people, so. I'm sure he'd vouch for me. He'd recognize me if he saw me. I mean, if you want to bring him in, I can, totally will just, old friends.
This is how Calvinism happened. they were just like, these rules are dumb. Let's just, I know who's getting in.
My absolute favorite one to drag my favorite Christian subdivision through the muck again is the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Who not only have as far as like I said, Christian offshoot subdivisions. I'm just going to talk about this like it's city planning.
Okay.
So as far as Christian commercial spaces go, not only do they have slightly stricter rules than a lot of other ones, whereas like the Anglicans are like, oh yeah, sure, I'll have a cup of coffee and a glass of wine. Haha, why not? And be like, they let their priests marry. I'm pretty sure the Anglicans do, so their priests can knock boots with other people who believe in God. Good for them. Doing it for the kids. But so the Jehovah's Witnesses are like, yeah, don't celebrate your birthdays. You're not allowed to drink caffeine, all that. But then they also have a number limit.
Mm-hmm.
There's a rough bouncer standing at the pearly gates with a list.
Stuff like that demonstrates a total lack of imagination for the infiniteness, of that kind of stuff. There's no reason heaven needs to be constricted in any way we could understand as three-dimensional beings. But this does lead me. Someone asked a question related to this. I think we might have touched on it on the Lost episode because we talked about Catholic school.
Sure.
Darkant Reltnark asks, it's clear you guys have knowledge about religions and the Bible. Do you believe in the Christian God or any others?
Oh, God, no.
Was that double nose?
I love that your answer to whether or not you believe in God contains the word God.
Jesus.
No. Jesus, who would ask something like that?
I think Johnny and I have had a conversation off mic about what a shame it is that atheist has become synonymous with asshole because Johnny's like, I'm just a chill atheist. Why are all the other atheists being such dicks all the time?
Yeah. I actually wanted to talk about something very much related to that in a minute, but I'll certainly answer the question first.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised in the Catholic Church. I disliked it at the time. Looking back, that was actually a pretty solid school that was just strict enough for me that made me a better person. I don't have bad memories of church. It was pretty cool. You sang, and I got to be an altar boy, and that meant I got to go on a free vacation to, I think, King's Dominion. So that was cool. The way I feel about Christianity, I feel like I put pretty clearly in my God's Not Dead video, is that even though, I didn't explicitly say this is totally not my religion in it, but I, very clearly said, although I have some issues with Christianity and a specific subset of Christianity, I have no issues with Christians. A lot of people I know are Christians, and they are very, very cool people. But back to the question, do I believe in the Christian God? No, I much like Johnny and Austin, I'm a secular person. I've sort of, because of this, what we talked about earlier, I've sort of grown apart from saying I'm an atheist all the time because for a couple of reasons. One is because jerks have sort of co-opted that word, and I don't care for it.
Oh yeah, where's the evidence?
But the other reason I when people ask, if I'm religious, I say I'm secular, because that not only does that avoid having to say that, I also feel like, and this is not entirely true, but a lot of people are kind of under the impression that atheist sort of has this like adversarial quality to it, and for many it absolutely does, but for many obviously it doesn't. My feeling about whether or not there is a God is, if there is a God, and if there is not a God, both of those scenarios exist, my life goes exactly the same way. And I don't mean that the asking the question is not important, because of course it's important. We have given it importance, even if it is not important. So it's a thing to be asked. But from a very pragmatic standpoint, I've sort of come to realize in the past couple years or so that it doesn't matter, because I'm going to live my life exactly the same way. Like, if God shows up tomorrow, like in a very like unambiguous way, people say, I had a personal experience where I really feel like I felt the touch of God. I'll say, neat, that's fine, I don't care. Cool. In fact, it probably, whether it was or not God, it was probably a neat experience. But if like God showed up in a very unambiguous way, like the heavens parted and God showed up and said, look, I'm sorry I wasn't clear about this, but I do exist.
Also sorry about the Holocaust.
You guys are gonna think I'm a bit of a jerk, but
Can I finish my statement before Johnny gets really, really atheist all over my ass?
No, that was his God impression.
Yeah,
okay.
that was my God impression.
Okay, fine.
Rubbing the back of his head, kind of going, ooh.
No. If God shows up and presents himself in such a way that is completely like categorically obviously God, and for some reason has a really good reason for why he's been so, let's say, camera shy throughout the scope of human existence and universal existence, and I said, oh, God is real, virtually nothing will change about my day-to-day.
Okay, I gotta stop you there, Leon, because it sounds like what you're describing is like the classic thought experiment of Pascal's wager, in which, given no other like factors, it is whether he exists or not, and you're living your life the same way, it is actually in your benefit. And like obviously this is disputed, as is everything in philosophy, but it is therefore in your benefit to believe in God. Because everything else is going to be the same anyway. You might as well, just in case, to hedge your bets.
My contention with that is twofold. First is that you can't fake belief. For one thing, you can say you believe in God, but it would be a lie. And second of all,
you're not supposed to bear false witness, Austin.
And also, well, there's that. But also, if God is as described in, at least in the Abrahamic religions and certainly various others, as omniscient, you're kind of being a jerk.
I'm not suggesting you try to bluff him. I'm saying, all other things being equal, you might as well try. Yeah, to have genuine.
Austin.
Faith.
Well, I'll just answer that in a very personal way. I have tried.
Okay, that's fine. Someone else is going to mention it if I don't.
Good for you, Leon. Just giving it your all.
I tried for years because I liked the idea that there could be one.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know if that was clear. I don't actually identify as an atheist, really. I don't know if I identify as anything, because I really wish there was something like maybe
Austin's an ambivalent.
I'm a please. Come on,
yeah.
What would that like an optimist?
Yeah, a naivete.
When I say nothing will change about my physical life, I believe that to be true, but I would prefer it if there were an afterlife, whether or not that includes a God. I don't think that there is, but I'm super okay with being wrong. In fact, hopeful I might be.
Every day that I have to wake up at 7:00 in the morning, I seriously, I just hope a little bit more that there isn't an afterlife. because I'm just like, I just want to get some fucking sleep.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not the draw for me. I know a lot of people think the whole draw of religion is like the immortality thing, I guess, if they're immortal souls, and that's a conversation for a different time about people not being able to accept the inevitability of death. But I think it's more of...
You just want the smug moment where you get to see all those people that you were like, something bad's gonna happen to that guy.
No, I just would like to know what the rules are.
Yeah, but what's the point of knowing the rules after the game has been played? Congratulations, you lost, and let me tell you why!
Well, that's my point. I very, very dearly want the rules now. I realize that's not going to happen, but that is my hope. My naive hope, I guess.
My, how do I put this? What the related topic I actually wanted to talk to you guys about on the show, and I was like concerned about asking this because it's a sort of personal question. And
but sorry, Leon, I don't mean to jump in here because it does sound like you're about to move to something serious. Are we about to jump topic here? Is this a question you want to ask?
No, this is related.
Because I'm just like
it just.
If I have something to say on the subject, do you want me to leave it and let you riff your thing?
No, absolutely, go ahead. This is related, but if you have something more to say specific to this,
I really wanted to say that I kind of fall, I guess, on the opposite, like, I mean, the three of us are like totally secular, but I see us as kind of like, you know, in these weird, like, three disparate points of, you know, like the giant circle of people that are like, probably not.
It's a weird Venn diagram.
Yeah, I suppose I don't think I make any big secret about how like weirdly jaded I am about the whole concept of religion and spiritualism and supernaturalism and anything. You know, like I'm a nothing man. You know,
you're me with all the hope beaten out.
Maybe more or less.
I mean, 10 more years, I'll get there.
But the thing about it is, the thing that a lot of people mistake when they ask questions or when I try and explain this is that they really get that mixed up with nihilism. And that it's like, you know, you don't believe in anything? You know, like, what gets you out of bed in the morning? And I'm like, breakfast, dude.
Magic may not exist, but these egos sure do.
I mean, have you ever had a freshly made waffle? I mean, the sausage house is gone, but I still have access to some pretty amazing chorizo. You know, so it's like, and it's true that when I was a younger man, I was a lot more aggressive. In like, you know, my disbelief. I felt like every single time somebody asked about atheism, it was like a challenge to my disbelief.
Oh God, I've gone down the rabbit hole like where someone's dunking on Richard Dawkins and I misclick and now I'm on his fucking timeline and I'm like opening the Ark of the Covenant.
You know, but like honestly, at no point in time now, at no point in time do I ever feel like I need to defend myself or corroborate with other people. Be like, yeah, we're atheists. Yeah, good for us. Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't want to be one of those. I don't want to be one of those persons who really enjoys using the word sheeple.
No, it's just not really an identity, or I guess you could make it too, because you could make anything out. You could just be like, I'm really into just like cheese, like that's just me. I'm the cheese guy. So like, I guess you could.
I like cheese.
It doesn't like the whole point of
salad.
The societal function of religion has traditionally been like community building, and so to define yourself as the opposite of that, but also a community, just seems weird to me. I guess it's not untenable, but the expression definitely seems to be hostility.
One of the things that you know that I found actually really kind of inspiring about the whole, because you know, when I was growing up and we didn't have the internet or anything like that, atheism wasn't a message. It wasn't something that spread around. You couldn't just be like, and these are the other atheists I know. Like, it wasn't even a word I learned. It wasn't even a fucking word I learned until I was a teenager, you know? Like, I didn't believe in anything, and I was just sort of like, okay, whatever, you know? But you know, one of the things that I kind of found attractive about it when I first started learning was that it was like, yeah, you know, like as an individual, I don't feel like I need to get in an echo chamber in a room full of people who all believe the same things or don't believe the same things that I don't believe. And just feel better about ourselves because, yeah, we've got this figured out, guys. Yeah. Sweet goatee, dude. You know,
It sounds like the South Park episode about conformists, where you're basically just making another group of conformists. Sorry,
Yeah.
I know Leon hates South Park, but that's not a bad episode.
No comment.
It's one of the hits out of the anyway.
and I still have ethical concerns about religion. You know, like you can do what you want in your own home. I'm kind of okay with that. But when it comes to like kids, I get a little bit skeevy. I'm like, yeah, there's a conversation
a lot
that
of
has to
bad
happen there.
shit's been done in the name of religion, but a lot of bad shit's been done in the name of capitalism, and a lot of bad shit's been done in the name of like land. Like I don't know, people just find excuses to be dicks, and like
totally. You know, I'm just like speaking personally. I feel weird about indoctrination, and I feel like there's a conversation that has to happen there. I don't feel like I am equipped to properly do it, particularly on this podcast at this moment.
Oh yeah, I mean we're having like a level 102 philosophy discussion here, like above average, but like anyone who studied it more probably is like, yeah, obviously guys, I know.
But
So-
even, you know, like all of my friends who aren't religious and they don't go to church and they don't do any of that. I was at a dinner table on Saturday. And all these guys that I've known for years, they're my oldest friends. I've known them since I was 13, are having this big conversation with each other about how they, you know, they believe that there's something, and there's like, you know, there's something that afterlife and the human condition, and I'm just sitting there sipping my water, eating my schnitzel, and I'm like, nope.
But see,
But I'm not shitting on anybody doing it. I'm keeping my mouth shut, and I'm fine. Because what these guys believe has nothing to fucking do with me at all. It never has, it never fucking will, unless one of them decides to get into government and mandate a law.
yeah. Well, that's clearly the separation between just beliefs and action. Like, and the other side of that coin is when I was involved in the church, you know, growing up, like my brother went on a trip to Biloxi, Mississippi to like rebuild after a hurricane there with his church group. So like there are good actions that come out of it, there are bad actions, and then there's just like doing the thing that Bible actually says, which is keeping it to your damn self. But whatever. Like,
And making sure that you only wear clothes of a single fabric.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some wacky ass rules in there. We've been over a lot of that stuff. God.
No bacon, everybody. No fucking bacon.
The thing about like saying, "Hey, what about this wacky thing from the Bible?"
Mm-hmm.
You think that would be like like a pog slammer as in the philosophical sense, where you're like, yeah, like obviously, I mean that disproves your thing. But the funny thing about like every like argument about something in the Bible is there's always a pre-made answer.
I don't know, pre-made. I'd say thousands of years of like scholarly
right. No,
debates
I don't mean like there's just one. I'm saying that
yeah.
there is like an endless amount of like Christian apologetics that have like basically they're ready for your hey, what about pork question.
It helps that the subject matter has been mangled by like centuries of translation.
I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is it's actually I was reading a lot about.
There's a playbook. You're talking. You're like, shit! Time for an audible, boys. He's going for the bacon question.
No, what I'm saying is like I'm using the finger quotes here. When a smug atheist says something like, "Hey, what about this one quote from the Bible that makes you look like a shithead?" There's reading about Christian apologetics a lot for the episode on God's Not Dead. It's like, oh my God, they are ready for your question. They're like preparing for this like presidential debates. Like they have got a great kill line.
I mean, Christian apologetics are like just the tip of the iceberg compared to the like rabbinic traditions. Like it's actually just as big a deal to study like Old Testament commentary as it is the text itself, because there's just like so much of that, like just like interpretation and stuff. That's the kind of stuff where people just spend their entire lives just being like, here's what I think this means. That's my career is explaining what I think this one thing means. Like it's a deep well, and you just can't. I don't know that there's anything to be done on those kind of arguments, just because we've been having them so long that like
that's kind of what I mean. It's like
I would rather have a sandwich.
There's not going to be like a new. Like,
you're not going to make a breakthrough.
Right. There's not going to be like some guy who comes out tomorrow and says, "Oh, well, here's how I disprove God.
Cracked this nut."
I would rather have a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich.
Food.
That's fine.
Hey, that's actually a crazy good segue off of this highly inflammatory topic that we probably stuck on way too long.
I want to pursue Leon because he was just about to ask something.
Pursue him.
You can pursue me.
I'm chasing you, Leon.
I was actually thinking about this in the past few weeks, and I wasn't sure how to bring it up, so I'll just bring it up now. And if you don't want to answer this question, you totally don't have to. I mean, technically, you don't have to answer any of my questions ever. But like, I will like completely understand why this would be like a nope. If for like, and you can make up your reason why, you like had to join a religion. Like as all three of us are fairly secular people, like which one would you like if like almost forced?
Episcopalian, because I'm already a part of that.
Yeah, you're part of it in the sense that you that was your upbringing. But how often do you go to church?
I stopped going in middle school, but like I mean that is my like affiliation. I was baptized that like I have a church like in Bonita Springs like that.
Okay.
So yeah.
That would be cool. How do I put this?
I'm sorry, that's a boring answer.
No. That's a perfectly acceptable answer. What I was trying to ask
Zoroastrianism.
What I was trying to ask is, would there be a religion? You like you said, you don't necessarily believe. Would there be a religion that you would actually be like, let's say, more comfortable in? Because I was thinking about it earlier, and I was looking through non-theistic religions, of which there are some, but most non-theistic religions also have hints of supernaturalism and let's just say magic. The only one I could find that I would be like, yeah, that seems super dope, and that's basically what I feel about everything now. I just don't have a name for it. Would be Unitarian Universalism, which is not the same.
I know some Unitarian Universalists actually.
Okay, because
they're pretty groovy people.
Yeah, it's non-theistic, but you're allowed to be theistic if you want to. In
That's
fact,
like
you're
verging
allowed to
on
do
like
lot of
a
stuff.
Political, like philosophical thing more than a religion at a certain point.
That's certainly fair, and maybe there is a blurred line, but they do have a church.
That's fair.
And then they are called a church. There's one near me, and I didn't even realize it. And I was like, oh, cool. It's like they're like not only chill, like in the sort of progressive way, they're also active in the progressive way, because this one is like super into the Black Lives Matter movement and like LGBT stuff, and there's like it's actually like if like for some reason I were like, yeah, I'm getting to a certain age, maybe I should investigate religion, that would probably be the one. I'm still not gonna. Because I can't even commit to like the same brand of soap for a very long time before I'm like, oh, you know what, this one kind of makes me a little itchy.
Leon, speaking as a man who's very picky about his moisturizers, I feel you.
Okay. I basically get the cheapest one until it starts to bother me.
That sounds very Leon. But yeah, Episcopalians are the Christians who are cool with gay people. Basically, they think they were the first one to have like an ordained like gay like person of note in their hierarchy.
Okay.
So that helps.
I'd probably have to start ripping it up Taoist style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if, like, is it Taoism? No, I'm remembering Confucianism. Like, there's more to that stuff than people think. I remember I was reading some stuff into it because Eastern is not my area of expertise, and it was like there's all the like the cool, chill Zen stuff, and then there's a bunch of like weird shit in there about like filial piety, and it's like it actually goes to some like less chill places. But
I think you might be talking about. I think you might be thinking Shintoism.
Maybe.
Okay. I think I understand Austin just immediately saying, yeah, Episcopalian. a little bit but more thoroughly now. So, okay, I understand that, and I guess, what did you say, Johnny? What is your final answer?
Taoism.
Lock
Okay.
it in.
So,
And I'm basing this entirely only on the fact that I've read the Tao Te Ching.
okay.
Like,
Neat.
that's it.
Okay.
You know, like, I haven't gone to, like, you know, a Taoist church or anything like that. But if they were like, oh, you gotta get a badge, I was like, oh, okay, I'll take that one.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that we're all pretty comfortable being what the heck we are, you know, now, but we've all got like a safety school. Just
Gosh. I really hope people are cool tuning into half an hour of what has happened, because
I don't
this
know.
could
Maybe by
be-
the end of the episode, I'm gonna blow it up and go Scientology on your ass.
Well, I feel like in spite of, you know, who we are and what we believe, we've been pretty respectful. And, you know, I think this has been a reasonably enlightening conversation. I mean, if we just want to make some more dick jokes, we can do that.
We're
but...
definitely going. We still got half an hour. That's happening.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can keep going. So anyway, thank you, for, you know, listening to, God Talk, this week. Sometimes we talk about things that are important, or at least important to us, or in some cases, not important to us. But
Yeah,
important to
Times
other
we
people.
talk about mayonnaise, which I'll have you know is very important to me.
Okay. Anyway, religion done.
Yeah.
We solved it, guys.
Put that one to bed. After 10,000 years, we're free from that conversation.
It's like the Kent Brockman joke from The Simpsons. Which is the one true faith? Find out at 11. Okay, we nailed it. Yeah, anyway, I mean, do you want to do questions, or did we have any specific other topics we wanted to talk about this week?
Yeah, I wanted to segue from when Johnny was talking about that sandwich earlier.
It's a good sandwich, guys.
It's just the way you said it.
I don't
It was
know.
funny.
I don't know if any of you have ever had a BLT before, but it's pretty good, yo.
I mean, yeah, I guess that is true. So, hey, if this is your first time listening to
Toasted
Word...
sourdough,
Okay. If this is your first time listening to
maybe
Word Funk,
some garlic aioli.
first of all, sorry. Second of all, welcome to this hellscape. Johnny's the food guy. I don't know if you got that about him. He's the atheist food guy. Among his many other qualities, he's like the authority on I guess the culinary arts as far as our group is concerned. So I kind of wanted to roll this past you, because I've been watching this show on Netflix called Chef's Table.
Right.
Have you seen this?
I'm aware of it. I haven't started watching it yet. But
Okay.
I mean, you know, like I that's my mantra, I guess.
Yeah, that's
I know.
fair.
I know it's around. Have I watched it? Fuck no.
Yeah, capitalism's hard. There's very little free time. So I've gone on record before saying that, like, I'm not a big fan of food, in the sense that I resent its necessity. I looked into like getting Soylent. It didn't turn out to be financially reasonable, but like I like the idea of not having.
I know
to
a guy who did. I know a guy who got a Soylent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you like drinking kind of like thin, milky peanut butter?
Nah, I mean that's the
Because that's it.
The appeal for me is not having to think about that kind of stuff anymore, because
And not
just-
having to eat like so many bananas in one sitting that you get potassium poisoning.
that did happen. Look, guys. What I'm trying to get at here is I'm not a big food guy, but I watched an entire, I guess, like two seasons, and then like a special mini series of 4 episodes, hour-long episodes about food, and I'm trying to like come to terms with this, because I really enjoy this series. Leon, you'll see where I'm going. It's an incredibly pretentious documentary series about like the most renowned and celebrated chefs in the world. Like from every country, they do ones on like the most remote South American village chef guys. They do ones like in India, Africa. There's the mini series is just on French chefs, because of course it is. But the thing about it is that I really liked it, despite like hating everything it stands for, which is like food as commodity. Like some of the restaurants, they profile like a single like plate costs like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and like, hey, people are starving, and like, you know, radical politics Austins once these people tried and imprisoned somewhere. But like art, like art appreciator Austin is like, these people are doing like really transformative, like radical art with this stuff. And I don't know how I feel about all these things. What do you,
Austin?
Yeah, what's up?
Can I just jump in here real quick?
Please, trampoline in here, if you will.
Like, I understand what you're saying. It's like, oh, how decadent it is for you
How
to
bourgeois.
How decadent is it you to make like chocolate, a chocolate cake with like gold sprinkles on top?
No, there's this one guy who doesn't believe in plates. Leon, he doesn't believe in plates, so he serves everything on a pillow.
No, listen. That's let me finish what I'm trying to say here. What you're trying to say is like oh, you're making food out of all this stuff, like when there are some people starving. Let me ask you something. Like just very pragmatically here. If this chef who was making the golden cake or whatever, if he were not doing that, do you think he would be running a soup kitchen?
See, that's a pretty classic logical fallacy there. We can't go like the opposite of everything. Like well,
no. All right. Well,
there's a better way. There's a better way to address the issue, Leon, and that's not that this particular pillow of food costs like $150 for ingredients that are like that cost presumably, I don't know what his overhead is, but far less. But our solutions to starving are quite simply international infrastructure and also waste. Like there's
a lot of
there's
politics
so
like
decent
above the level of chef.
Yeah, there's so much decent food that goes to waste that could be feeding other people, and like planting programs and like food share programs and fucking like even domestically speaking.
Right. I mean, so much food is wasted, and apparently the reason that it remains wasted is because the, I guess you could say, cost of transporting said food to people who might need it is apparently, at least to these companies, considered to be prohibitively expensive. Maybe that's not actually true. That is just what's...
I'm sure it's a multifaceted issue, but all of the facets come down to money at the end. So, like, it's a distinction without a difference.
Right, I understand, but what I'm trying to say about Pillow Chef, man, is that how do I put this? I'm not sure he's the problem.
No, Pillow Chef's awesome. He gets tongue cancer, and so he can't taste anymore. So he just goes fucking banana sandwiches. It's amazing. Good. And then he gets his taste back, and it's sad. It's wonderful.
Like Austin Yorsky style banana sandwiches, or
no one can go banana sandwiches like Austin Yorsky.
No, let me make sure I'm clear about this. I mean good, like he does cool food. I don't mean good that he got cancer. I want that to be
obviously.
Clear.
No,
I know, but I know someone is rushing to the comments.
It's the whole thing is super cool. Like I said, it's really pretentious. There's a lot of slow motion. There's a lot of violins. There's a lot of talk about sustainable farming. It's very like it's very think PC, but
it's self-absorbed.
It is, but in a way that it's the only way it could work. Because I wouldn't watch it if it was just like a Guy Fieri, like, look at this hamburger.
Hey, check this out. This burger is 3 patties high, and I've got so much hot sauce on it, I can't see my mom.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine diners, drive-ins, and dives with nothing but violin music?
Here's the thing about Guy Fieri. Like, I know that he exists, but having never seen anything of him beside like a meme, I don't actually know what he sounds like or what he does or why everyone hates him.
No one hates him.
He's not as ridiculous as everybody makes him out to be. He's just an easy target, is the thing.
Okay.
He looks like the singer from Smash Mouth and they're best friends. So it's like a recursive meme from Smash Mouth.
He does eat at some pretty bitchin' ass restaurants.
to Shrek to Guy Fieri. I've lost the plot. Anyway, this show is about like beautiful art, and that's something I need in the world right now because every time I turn on the TV, it's like goddamn.
So what is it that you want to roll by me exactly? Like, what did this like raise a deep moral chasm in you?
No, I'm not a.
Do you want to learn how to make a bitchin' ass grilled cheese sandwich? Is that what's going on here, and you've come to me for help?
If I was going to discuss food as art with anyone, you would be my first choice. So I'm bringing it up because we have a show where we talk to each other.
No, I mean it really is. Like, you know, the one of the things that I really love about food is that it's so many things all at once. You know, something I used to say about bread. I said one of my favorite things about bread is that it graces the tables of the richest people and the poorest people on the same day for the same meal. You know,
and carbs. That too.
They're just like food can be so many things. It can be something that you do like Soylent that just sustains you and it just moves you from like one exciting moment to the next exciting moment. It can be a responsibility, or it can be a party. It can be something where you host people and you come over and say, you know, like, I made this for you guys. You know, like handmade salsa. I have my own garden on my apartment balcony. I've got tomatoes, Thai basil, cilantro, rosemary, dill. I'm growing my own jalapenos, you guys. I've got like 5 jalapeno peppers that are just dropping like fucking NFL testicles right now.
What does that mean?
That means that presumably whoever it performs in the NFL, they must have some hormones.
I think you might want to send that joke back to the shop. Get it polished up a little bit. Try roll that bitch out again once it's it's got a little work done.
I like
all
it,
right.
Johnny.
All right. Fine. In any case, these jalapenos are dropping
like it's hot.
They are hot. They're not super hot. They're jalapenos.
Okay, I've got pepper elitism.
No, jalapenos are super aromatic and they're fantastic and they're really, really versatile as far as peppers go, but, you know, they're not hot. If I was going to be like, hey, hot pepper, I'm going to pass you like a Thai chili or, you know, maybe an aged habanero. I wouldn't pass you a ghost pepper because that's verging on abuse.
Humans shouldn't eat peppers. They evolved specifically so we wouldn't. Why are we going against God and nature?
Because endorphins, Austin. Because endorphins.
I've had pizza with ghost peppers on it. It was really good.
Yeah.
It hurt me quite a bit, but I'm glad I had the experience. How I feel about food. Mostly, it's just fuel to me.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't have like refined taste when it comes to food. Like I like if someone gives me a grilled cheese sandwich, I'm really happy.
I love grilled cheese sandwiches too.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm sort of frugal about how I use food. I'm like, I always think like, yeah, I could spend a lot of money on like this one meal and like it slightly more than 25 cents of soup, but I will probably just have 25 cents of soup and use that money on something I would like more, like a book or something.
Yeah. It's tied up into a lot of like economic stuff because it is both like the cost of the food and the time investment to do like proper cooking.
And it's a skill investment, not just time in terms of cooking, but actually getting to know, you know, your basic rules of cooking. And not even just like your basic rules, but there has to kind of come a time where if you're going to be a decent cook of any kind, you have to be able to call flavors on the fly and be like, "Oh shit, this could use some cardamom."
You know what? That's one of the things I noticed in a lot of the episodes is that the chefs are always talking about like, oh, I don't like to have a menu. I like to like improvise and do it different every day. Never, you know, do the same thing twice because it'll get stale. And it's like, I think all of these people are like really talented and interesting, but they all seem to be suffering from like a really similar artistic crisis about like society or like cultural need for novelty. Yeah. And, like, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with, like, being good at a thing and doing it. Like, I guess people get bored. I get that. But I guess that's just, like, a broader artistic question is, like, how much value is there in novelty? And is it, like, sufficient to be different?
It's kind of like a weird monomania. Do you guys know the term monomania or, like, monomaniac or something like that?
Yeah, for one thing.
Yeah, and just like an overwhelming obsession for that one thing. You know, to where it's like you can't make a good meal and be like, okay, this is it for the season.
But I mean, you see that all the time. Let's take it to other like things like film. People are like, oh, everything's a remake. Why don't they ever do anything new? And it's like, well, if I'm going to be a true artist, I'm going to do something new. But that's cool. I'm not saying you shouldn't try to do new things, but should that be like so consuming of your artistic efforts? Because
should it override your desire to do something good?
I guess it's just like I don't think some of these people have healthy balances on their outlook. I think they're just maybe obsessed with novelty to a certain extent. But maybe that's just like the pressures of like the modern, I guess, is it like postmodern cooking? I don't know what the term is, but like
when you think about it, it's kind of like Dark Souls.
Okay, that's the fucking limit we hit right there. This is a good segue to a question.
Yeah, we can do questions.
Professor Jade, our doctorate of questions, asks, what type of pie do you want to eat right now?
Pumpkin. Done.
Steak and kidney Guinness.
See, that just says a lot about me and Johnny right there.
Yeah, I was going to say key lime.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I like all your choices for pie, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm a pie pantheist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Back.
But like, have you guys ever had key lime pie with key limes from Key West, like off the tree?
I have not. I have not.
I've had freshly made, but not like picked right off the tree. I live in the Pacific Northwest, son. Limes are thin on the ground.
Yeah.
Again, just to bring this back to like how I choose food, I'm completely content to go to the supermarket and buy a pumpkin pie that was made, I don't know, hours and hours ago.
I'm basically just showing off because that's like a thing we do a lot. Like we just go into people's yard. I told you about the lychees or lychees we just did take when we were doing landscaping, and like we did that with like oranges and tangerines, and like we do when I worked at a marina, we would just like get fish out of the water and then just like cook them there,
yeah, but
like
I mean,
still
Austin,
wet from the water.
Most of these things quite literally grow on trees, except for the fish.
Although that would be interesting. Checkmate, atheists. Fish trees.
You just wait until I get to my genetic testing phase. All right.
Monsanto.
Fridge accident, step 2. We're moving up the timeline.
All right. Lana Seawolf asks, what's a good way to keep yourself motivated while job hunting?
Hunger.
I guess that's
the necessity to have a roof over your head.
That sounds like something that would begin motivating and end crushing. I feel like
I just to be like very practical about this. If you are my feeling is always, if you are suddenly without a job and you do not have an income, don't be afraid to just get a shitty job right away while you're looking for the good job. Because and I've known people who are like, oh, I don't want to work there. Like work there for just work there for now. You kind of have to. Because
I'm totally with you there, Leon. Absolutely. Yeah. I know too many people who could have gone out and like gotten jobs to not be depressed and have something to do and earn a little bit of money, and then, you know, maybe go out and watch a movie and do things that they would enjoy, that are like, oh, but it's, you know, it's not in the field that I want.
Yeah.
I'm probably not the person to answer this question because I'm that guy that you guys are talking about. Like all the jobs I've had because I knew somebody, or like I didn't put in that much effort and kind of just fell into it. I made it 25 years without ever doing a traditional like job search. I've never interviewed for a job. So I guess that explains the whole Austin situation. Like just how I am as a person, huh? It's shedding some light on this.
I don't know. Yeah. It might just mean that you're very good at making contacts and that you can put networking down on your skills on your resume.
That's true.
Oh, throw me off a cliff.
Yeah, although you're going to want to at least learn how to do a good job interview, because when you have to interview for a big law-related job, you kind of have to nail it. I'll just put this out there. I'm very good at the job interview because I
Lie.
Yeah. No, I don't lie on. I don't lie on my I don't lie on my application.
Because it leaves a paper trail.
I did once lie on my application. Well, let me rephrase that. No, wait. I've never lied on my application.
You just told them that you were deep.
Yeah. During the interview.
Oof.
Oh God, that's not going in.
Yes,
all of that cuts backwards. I'm actually really good at
Please beep. It's funnier. Anyway.
No, I'm good at doing interviews, not because I lie on my application, but because I present a version of myself during the interview process that is not factually accurate to what my personality is really like.
If you have to do those kind of grammatical gymnastics to avoid saying, I, Leon Thomas, am a liar, I think maybe you should re-examine.
No, Austin,
yeah.
He's fronting.
How can Austin, I can't even say during an interview, I, Leon Thomas, am a liar. It's not even my name.
Checkmate. Right. Liar. I caught you.
So tell me about your skills, Leon. Well, first of all, I'm a fantastic liar.
Or am I?
No,
mind freak.
No, let me try to explain what I'm trying to say here. What I'm saying is that when like during a school interview, when someone says, "Would you be comfortable doing this thing?" And in my mind, I'm like, "No, I would actually hate to do that, and I would be very bad at it." I would say, "Yeah, I would actually look forward to doing that because blank." Now, that being said, they might not even ask me to do blank once I get the job. But you basically, during doing a job interview, is presenting the best possible scenario of yourself. Because if you think that's shady, you kind of have to, because everyone else will too.
I hear you. That's like practical good advice, Leon, that you're giving, and everyone is really thankful for it. I'm not gonna do that.
No, that's totally fine. You could absolutely.
I'd rather tell the truth and not get the job. That's the way I have to sleep at night. I can't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can slack your way through
Austin,
life.
just wait until you start not sleeping at night, like ever at all.
I mean,
different.
I worked at. Do you remember when
enjoy not sleeping at night due to all the crushing debt?
Do you remember when we worked at BT, Johnny? I definitely know how not to sleep ever.
I know, but that's because you had stuff to do.
Listen. There's always stuff to do.
I got really good advice during a job interview once. I said the right answer to something.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it wasn't even a lie. It was just accurate to what you're supposed to say. And this was the first job interview I had for a teaching position. And the woman says, "This is your first time applying to be a teacher, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I literally got finished substitute orientation yesterday." And she said, "What you said there, say that at every interview, and you will probably always get the job." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, thank you."
She counseled you to lie? What is the world?
It wasn't a lie. It was just accurate to what you're supposed to say and what is true. The question, I can't give the exact phrasing, but the question had to do with what do you do with a child who is acting up in class all the time? And I explained that when when a child is acting up in class, more often than not, it's not about something. It's not just about the child; it's about the class. They might be having difficulty understanding it. Often, kids who are acting up in class are also kids who are not doing well, studiously in the class, and those things are related for a reason. And you need to talk to that child about what's wrong, whether or not they're even picking up the material, because that can actually improve their behavior in the class. And I said something along those lines, and it said, "That is actually correct. And that is what you should say at every interview." And I said, "Okay." And I do, because that's mostly accurate.
Gotcha. I can't live in a house of lies, so...
Okay, no, that's fine. Austin, when it's time for you to actually apply for lawyering positions, tell me how it goes. Because I'd be really curious if you said, "Look, I studied a lot, but I've never done this before. Hire me. I'm really curious about how that goes. If it works for you, I will love it. Don't get me wrong. But if it doesn't...
I'm not sure I could live in a house of lies.
But you could have, like, a lie wing of your house.
I'm thinking maybe a couple of the windows, the doors. There might be a room that I go to. Definitely the fence.
The way I how do I put this? When people, I always follow the advice of be yourself, but be your best self. You don't have to immediately show everyone your flaws. Show them your best.
If they can't handle me at my weird slob, they don't deserve me at my slightly less weird slob.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really hate that particular phrase. Like, if you can't handle me at my worst, then you don't deserve to have me at my best. No, if you were seriously problematic in a relationship, then you have problems that you need to deal with, and stop fucking up your relationship. I hate that phrase so fucking much. No, if you're the worst to me a lot, you need to stop being the worst to me. That is really super selfish.
If you can't handle me at my worst, Leon, you should probably think about making some better friends.
Right. That is essentially true. I'm sorry.
If we're not doing word funk by the time I graduate and go into the world, we should have like some kind of weird reunion special epilogue to this show where I dunk on you. I feel like we got away from the actual question, which was about motivation and not just like how to lie your way through interviews.
Stay focused, exactly like we don't. So basically take everything that we do the opposite.
Only do the drugs they don't test for.
And also a good montage music.
Serious answer to that? How to stay motivated to what was the exact wording of the question?
What's a good way to keep yourself motivated while job hunting?
Oh, while job hunting.
The whole process is always going to be the worst thing. It's just the worst, and everything is humiliating and dehumanizing under capitalism. Sorry, that's just the way
everything is about
designed.
That to you, which it might be.
It's literally how we live.
I know.
Okay, this is like it's a shitty kind of like token answer rewards, but it really is. Like something that you want to do that day. Well, you can't do it, not yet. You got to job hunt. Set yourself a time limit. Say that you're gonna make some phone calls. You're going to hand out resumes. You're gonna look at ads. Hand out like 5 resumes in a day, 10 resumes, take it bit by bit, make some callbacks, keep track. And then when you've done your job for the day to hunt for jobs, then let yourself have something, say, I did a good job today. I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to relax. I'm going to watch my favorite movie, watch my favorite anime. I'm going to play video games. I'm going to have a glass of wine, take a bath, whatever curls your toes, right?
That's actually probably good advice. I just think, take it from the inexperienced socialist, but the only way to get through it is to realize you can't get rid of those kind of things. You can only minimize the bad feelings, right? Like it's always going to be like a stressful process. Like you can
life
do
is
your
a stressful
best.
Process, Austin.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Getting up in the morning doesn't make me feel any better about any of the things that I have to do.
Yeah, Leon, you're about to dunk.
Also get a job either bussing tables or delivering food for a restaurant because you get tips for that and it requires very little effort.
Oh, I can't wait until we have robots for that stuff. Can you guys tell I was reading a case earlier? I was doing a briefing on a case about a pharmaceutical company that harvested cells from patients without their consent and then patented them for billions of dollars. So I'm a little feisty right now.
They don't get any of the skin with like kickback or for that or what?
Nope. The case was that the person who was harvested like a fucking goddamn horror movie sued and lost because we have no freedoms.
Okay.
Next question.
Did he sign a piece of paper?
No. He there was not informed consent. No,
They just took it from him.
Oh yeah. But now, because of that case, now everything you sign will have a clause in it saying that like anything they take from you, they own. But at the time, there wasn't, and they just got away with it.
Okay.
So, yep, cool. Consumerist Skeleton asks, will you ever pronounce Kirsten Haslinger's name right? No. Sorry, Kirsten. I'm going to keep fucking that up. I don't even know how I'm doing it wrong this time. What have I done? That's the person who started our forum for Wordfunk and Dicefunk and who has done...
Oh, I like that place.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that place. I'm sorry. I apologize for not knowing the name offhand.
I don't know. It sounds to me like you were close that time there, Austin.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we owe her a lot, and I feel like we should at least know how to pronounce her name, but I have a bad mouth. I just can't mouth right.
The forums now have a Twitter account that followed me, and I followed them back, which is rare for me to follow anyone back.
I feel like I should follow Kirsten.
I think I do.
I don't think I do, which is mean of me, because she's done a lot, so I'm going to look her up right now.
Okay. While you're doing that, oh man, this is a risky-ass tweet you sent, Brent. Do you really think I'm going to read this, Brent? Because I'm going to read it. Brent said, please explain, in detail, your most embarrassing sexual experience. Brent, do you think we're going to do that?
Johnny will.
Are we, though?
Johnny's going to give us, like, 2. They're going to be amazing.
Oh, hold on. Let me get out the fucking live journal. Gotta find that URL.
This is,
Oh, no.
This is bad.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Is there an explicit tag on this show?
This is explicit. I want to throw a trigger warning on this, actually.
Okay.
Jesus.
Parental advisory. Although I don't really feel like minors should be listening.
No, like this is I'm throwing a trigger warning on this of sexual violence.
Oh, Christ,
okay.
Muffins.
All right. Okay. Just so that's out there.
I want off this train.
I'm not proud of this. Not proud of this, but this is a true story. Okay.
Okay. It is.
So, I was in college. I think I was either 19 or 20 years old. And this was when I was in the theater program. I was in the theater program at college. I was doing stage acting. I was doing and we had a lot of intersection with the other arts departments. So, like, as part of the theater program, we had to take things like writing courses, theater history, English. You know, they wanted us to be up on our literature and otherwise artistic courses. And we also had to take sort of sub-courses in things like vocalization for singing and musical theater and some like movement and dance classes because you want to be what they call a triple threat on stage, which means that they want you to be able to act, sing, and dance. So there were choral students as well and music students that we would invariably kind of rub shoulders with. And there was this lady in the choir in their vocals program at college that I took quite a shining to. And so did a friend of mine, but long story short, we got together, she and I. And she was just coming off a relationship that I didn't really know much about, but I had weird suspicions that maybe it wasn't healthy. We kind of rushed into dating as young people often do, where you just sort of meet someone that gets your pumps flowing in a certain direction, and then you just kind of go, yeah, let's spend like all the time together.
Moisturizing.
Moisturizing.
Let's get real slippery.
I'm a Nivea man.
God. Oh my.
It's
a great pickup line.
So, in any case, this like our tryst got sexual pretty quickly.
Okay.
And just this one night, apropos of nothing, we are in flagrante. When she, like, grabs me and is like, okay, stop. And I'm like, okay. And she says, hit me. I'm like, what? She's like, hit me. I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
That's how I became Tyler Durden.
And I'm like, I'm not comfortable with that. And as I was in school at the time, I was saving some money and I was living at home. So I think cohabiting in the house were my mother and father, and I believe my brother. And she says to me, hit me, or I'll scream rape.
Oof.
This took a turn.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I would have liked to have had a conversation about that beforehand. Because the fact of the matter is that I don't care what you get up to in the bedroom. You know, as long as it's consensual, you know, you get safe words, you've got two people who are at least curious, you know. And then if it goes sideways, you just go, that was
Johnny?
awkward. I'm not sure I'm curious. Yep.
What's your safe word?
I have two, actually.
Uh-huh.
If you either hear me scream rutabaga
Uh-huh.
or corduroy,
Okay.
that means I'm out.
You know what mine
So
is?
if you're ever in the Pacific Northwest and you hear a bunch of like banging in a car trunk and somebody is yelling rutabaga, 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 you'll know who that is.
Yeah. So
I'm really
What's yours,
excited,
Austin? What's your
Farmer.
safe word?
what's yours, Austin?
Metroid Other M. Nothing kills the mood faster.
Oh, there's nobody in the world who would mistake that for you saying something else. They wouldn't be like, yeah, Super Metroid was an amazing game. They'd be like, what the fuck you just say?
Oh my god.
That's 100% true. Anyway.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
So, the end of this particular fairy tale was that I slapped her like right in the face, harder than I was comfortable doing. She seemed to like it.
Okay.
Yeah, at first I thought you were just going to say, like, oh, like, I was in some violence that I wasn't comfortable with, which is, like, not that scandalous. Like, the vast majority of people I've been involved with were into that kind of stuff, and it's just like, I'm not, but, like, whatever works for you. But no, like, she took it to the next step, and it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride needs to calm down.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is, too, is that, like, with the discussion prior, and this is a very important message to all the kids listening to the podcast, don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
For everybody who's left, the important message is, have a fucking conversation beforehand.
like adults.
Like, Jesus fucking Christ. You don't spring that shit on someone. You don't fucking do it. So, weirdly enough, that was, I think, actually the signal to the end of our relationship.
Sure.
I would hope.
Well, no, like, in a weird way, though, right? Because I felt kind of ashamed and pretty embarrassed and confused, mainly confused about the whole thing. Because, you know, I sort of felt like I had just slapped a woman for no reason, and there had been no preamble. You know, I didn't sign a waiver. There was no, like, hey, the things that you might encounter on this roller coaster.
But that's the whole, like, point of the thing, I think, from their perspective, is the, like, I think talking about it would ruin the fantasy of it. Like, that's not an excuse. I'm saying, like, that's, like, what's at play here.
Yeah, but I'm obviously not ready for it, you know?
Yeah.
But the funny thing about it is that I'm totally comfortable exploring that kind of quote-unquote sexual behavior with the appropriate boundaries in place.
Yep.
Totally comfortable with it. I'm like, I consider myself sexually to be a very vanilla person, but it's like, I have had many, many past partners, current one included, that are like, what the hell is your problem? You think that you're vanilla? And I'm like, it's all normal to me.
Everyone's shit is on such different frequencies at all times. It's in every way, not just sexually.
Yeah.
Just like in every possible way. That like as soon as you think you found the limit, someone else is like, that shit's old and busted. Yeah. And you're like, whoa, it took me 3 years to come to terms with that. And they're like, nah, dog.
So.
Old.
I mean, that, but when I say the relationship collapsed, what I mean is that I was like, and she could see that I was freaked out about it. It was like, nope, not my jam, and started like hitting on the other friend that I had who was interested in her at the same time as I was. And I was like, was I not man enough for you?
Did you give a brother a heads up?
I did, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Oh,
So
dear.
that's certainly, I don't know if I'd declare that as most embarrassing, but certainly like one of the most out there sexual experiences I have.
My I can take the reins now if you'd like.
Oh, do you want to hear another one?
There's a second one, please.
This
go.
one's much shorter.
Okay.
There was that time where I flew to America to be with my internet girlfriend for New Year's.
To steal our women.
To at least be
that-
with them and steal their hearts.
I can't remember if I've heard the story or not, but I'd like to hear it.
Well, it's the end of the story is very simple. Is that during New Year, a bunch of family came to stay at the house. So her little sister, who was like a teenager at that time, was like in the room with us, and I like woke up in the middle of the night, and my girlfriend had mounted me.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice, I guess.
with the little sister in the room sleeping.
Right. Yeah.
That was weird. But
I
I
think
mean,
I think you need a
we
more
had a
thorough
week together,
vetting
and
process.
my fucking hormones were raging. So,
Did you go, or were you like?
oh no,
maybe
like
we
it was already on when I woke up.
Like Donkey Kong.
Like it was in full swing. It was the great fucking Gatsby up in there,
That doesn't mean anything.
and not the depressing parts.
Okay. I'll go. But mine doesn't. Mine will not make sense. Like in the Johnny way.
Does anything?
I
I wonder if I speak the same language as everybody else most of the time.
My most embarrassing sexual experience is literally every one that I have where I have to feign interest in having sex.
Oh my God.
It's besides like once when I was whacked out on Ambien and I was kind of into it, is like every other sexual experience. I'm not that into it. It's just not a thing that I enjoy doing. I need to meet a nice asexual girl who will have sex with me once as a joke, and then never again.
There's so many layers of that
Ladies,
onion.
Gentlemen, you heard it here first. If you want to seduce Leon, you're gonna have to sedate him.
If you're going to seduce Leon, you have to say, "Don't worry, we won't have that much sex."
Except as a joke, apparently.
Right,
what is it? Are
right.
you... Maybe
As
we're
a-
operating
as-
with different definitions of the word
As
joke.
a-
Take
Dude.
this pill; it'll be hilarious.
No.
No, as what I mean is
Put on this costume. Oh, it's so funny. You're mine
I mean,
now.
as a goof to do it once so that, like, it seems like, quote unquote, a relationship, and then just not anymore. That's unlikely to happen, but, that's sort of what I'm rolling with.
So is
sexually.
it sort of like the roller coaster or like the flume ride where you like take that picture and everybody's making like a goofy face and you're like, "Yep, we did it."
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's more just out of an obligation of proof.
There's like
of relationships.
there's like a theme here, and maybe it's like not we don't have enough time or energy to explore this right now. But like, why feign interest? And like, I guess that connects back to like the why lie about who you are thing. Like, have you ever just tried living in your truth and just like being the Leon you were always meant to be instead of like trying to be what other people want?
Look, I can say to someone, I'm not that. I've said in a relationship, I'm not gonna be that into this, but you are, so I will do this basically for you.
Okay, when you said feign interest, it sounded more deceptive than that.
No, I don't mean like I'm like like yeah. I'm putting on like a performance, like this is a porno, and I have to like exaggerate my facial expression.
You're like, oh no. Wow, you're like, wow, that was so, and then you look at your hand and there's like smudged ink, and you're like, erotical. I don't mean that. I mean
that was really hop.
No, I don't mean it like that.
I had a really good origami. Shit, I gotta get better fucking markers. This is untenable.
I'm sorry, Leon. I don't mean to ridicule you.
No, it's okay. To explain further, because apparently that got lost in translation, at least in terms of Austin.
I know. I'm just ridiculing the fake headcanon I made up of you, which was funnier than the real thing.
No. I don't really enjoy having sex. I've had it a bunch of times, but it's not like
twice.
but like it's like it's not a thing for me. I don't hate it. It's just it doesn't do that much for me.
Yeah.
But how do I put this? When I say I feign interest, I don't mean like, yeah, I totally want to do all of these things with you, and scream at the end or something,
hey,
or
baby,
whatever it is.
I feel like I want to kind of do the sex with you and I.
No, I mean, I don't. When someone, like, if I'm in a relationship and someone says, "Hey, let's have sex," or someone tries to initiate sex with me, when I say feign interest, I mean me saying, okay.
Compliance.
Right. Instead of saying,
but we just had it last week.
Right. Basically that. I mean saying, okay, this is important to you.
Okay, so that's totally fine, as long as everyone's being open and honest. That's not the impression I got. But yeah, that's
fine. Yeah.
I guess
Quick
it's all
Johnny side story.
Yeah.
I've had, I think about 10 sexual partners in my lifetime.
There you go.
Are we just bragging now? Is that what's happening?
No. This is a quick side story. For 7 of them, I'm not like none of the 7 could reliably bring me to orgasm.
All right, that's all the time we have for Word Funk this week. I'll see you guys next week.
No, I used to have real intimacy problems.
Okay.
Like huge intimacy problems. Massive intimacy problems.
That's okay.
Swelling, throbbing intimacy problems.
Turgid.
Johnny, you want to know how many of my sexual partners have never brought me to orgasm?
All of them?
Yep.
Is there anything stronger than a trigger warning?
Can we get a klaxon?
I did once. Never mind. I did once. Like I said, I was like on drugs. Anyway, go ahead, Johnny.
No, that was it. That was my quick Johnny side story. Austin, tell us an embarrassing Florida experience.
I feel like you took the wrong lesson from that drug episode, Leon. But actually, you know what? We were talking about Florida Man. I think it was me and Leon. I guess like the stereotype that like shit's like crazy in Florida. Do you know why that is?
Actually do. It has to do with the laws related to the media. We learn about all the crazy stuff that happens in Florida because of the law that says we can. All this stuff probably happens all over the place, but there are laws that I wouldn't say censor, but protect people. I guess in their embarrassments a bit more. I don't know the exact phrasing of the law, but it has something to do with that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You did it.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your
No.
thunder, but yeah, you're Florida is not that much crazier than the next place. It's just we know so much about it, because we just can. Austin, do you not want to tell us an embarrassing sexual story?
I don't know if I can top any of that stuff. Like,
You don't have to top.
That does feel like the point
mine,
of this exercise.
No, it doesn't. Mine certainly did not top Johnny's. Mine was nothing.
I'll top Johnny.
Literally nothing.
You're welcome to top me anytime you want, Austin.
There's no other way this could have ended.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like the most embarrassing for me is like not a super interesting story. It's just like I think we got caught. I think it was either Busch Gardens or Disney World. Actually, it was both separate occasions.
Oh, fantastic!
I think we were like behind a roller coaster or something in a place we should not have been, and then like a dude just came around with a flashlight and was like, "What are you doing back there?" And I was like, "Boning down. What's it look like?"
You should have said that's why they call it Busch Gardens.
Fuck. That would have been way better. I bet he's heard that one before, though, is the thing.
Oh, okay.
No, and then they just escorted us out. Which is actually cool, because we were, like, underage. That could have gone, like, that could have broke real bad. But,
Shit.
So.
How underage?
I think I've probably incriminated myself before on this show. Like,
give me a window.
It's bad. I was a bad person. I'm a bad human being.
All right, okay, fine. If you want to keep it to yourself, I won't press you.
You were both young.
I've said before that I was like a freshman in high school, so like 14, 15.
Okay, that's fine.
So I don't know. That's not really like a super interesting story so much as
I was hoping it was going to be way worse.
At a certain point, like that's just crime. Like, I'm just criming then.
I'm gonna say something right now, and it's gonna sound like a humble brag, but it's actually like super sad. I'm apparently, finger quotes, good at sex, according to my partners, because I don't care. So I'm not gonna be done. That's what I'm trying to say.
You're a sensitive lover.
I'm not even a sensitive lover. I can't. I'm there for the duration, is what I'm trying to say.
Like what I mean is that you're not like, I'm into this. You're like, I hope you're enjoying this.
I kind of have to be, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, now I'm just picturing his like iRobot expressionless fucking Will Smith face. Are you enjoying yourself? My programming indicates that this will be pleasurable for you to experience. I'm not even trying to be mean, but I know that's how it's coming across.
Okay. No, it's perfectly okay. We are all friends. I know you don't mean any harm. No, but in all seriousness, I am.
Also, there's only like 2 listeners left, so who cares? Let's just get weird.
Yeah. Oh well.
And it's just Kirsten and Jade, and they're just
I'm into butt stuff.
They're just jerking it so right now. They're just like in it, and it's you're welcome. Also, sorry.
Yeah. Anything? Oh my god. Are there any other questions, or have we gone too far? I mean,
we went too far. Listen, we went too far as soon as we hit the red button on Audacity. It was like right into the Jesus stuff, and then we took a sandwich break, and then it was just like.
Yeah, I sort of feel like last week was a warm up.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're back. Hey, it's
Ta-da!
I also want to clarify something. When I say I was whacked out on Ambien, I don't mean that I took Ambien recreationally to have sex, or recreationally for any reason. I mean that I had a sleeping problem and I had a prescription for Ambien very briefly, and it just so happened that shortly after taking it, by coincidence, the person I was with was like, we should have sex. And I'm like, okay. And then we did.
To answer your question,
but I'm not going to take a bunch of drugs just so I can, like, quote unquote, enjoy sex in the future, because that sounds like a very dangerous rabbit hole that I do not want to go down.
We've had the drug conversation before, and we've established you're a narc. So the other questions that came in were about video games. So unless you want to. No,
I'm continuing to play Deus Ex Human Revolution. I'm continuing to mostly enjoy it. The end.
All right, so an hour and a half. Do you want to cut this off?
Sure. Anything you guys want to say right before? Oh, I probably should have said, hello everyone, welcome to Word Funk. I'm Leon Thomas. I'm joined by Austin Yersky and Johnny Maloney. Guys, any last words before we go?
Protect the postage.
I don't care. Say again?
Protect the postage.
The aristocrats.